So, all right. Well, welcome to the May 2021 State Team Co-Lead Roundup. We've picked the animal adventure theme in honor of Joyce and her love for animals today. So thank you for playing along with us. Cody's got his cat. Joyce has her dog. Anybody else have any fun pets, show and tell that you wanna share?
I have two, but they're too big to put on my lap. So.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh, Sandy's got one.
Oh, look at that! What a cutie!
Awesome.
This is Tucker. He's our 5-month-old Boston puppy.
Oh my goodness, 5 months.
Sweet.
Yeah, he is pretty sweet. We have his mom, and he's a miracle baby. We had a puppy ICU for a week with oxygen 24/7 and everything when he was 2 weeks old. So he's a miracle that he's here, but he's doing great.
Wow, awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right, so there's our agenda for today. The first 40 minutes we have dedicated to our 8 state teams, about 5 minutes each. We've sent out 3 different questions to share, and hopefully there'll be some time if you want to ask each other some questions and answer. And then we have some awards like we did last year that we wanted to share with you all. In the last 20-30 minutes, we'll have an open discussion on some improvements. So these are just top of the hour MSRGN updates. We have received our year 5 funding. If you saw that in the PD message, we are calling it year 5, but it means June 1st, 2021 to May 31st, 2022. With this and with Joyce's retirement, we are opting and asking if you all will go along with us for this no state team calls in June to allow time for the transition of Cody into helping with the state team role and Joyce's retirement. And then resuming state calls in July. And we'll be reaching out to ask if your team wants to keep the same date and time, or if you would like to change it. I know a couple teams have talked about accommodating some members who haven't been able to join the last couple of months. So if you want to make changes to that we can do that. And then we just want to thank you all for an amazing year 4 as we wrap up May. And with that, here's our 3 questions. We did a kind of a random order here. And so we have Wyoming starting first, and you guys were the first to join the call. So is that okay? You guys okay to go? Carly?
Yeah, that's totally fine. This is Carly Soul, and I'm in Wyoming, and Amy Zeke, I think, is on the call as well, but I'm the newborn screening and genetics coordinator here. And so I would say our state team's greatest challenge just as a program would be probably getting our genetics contract with Colorado going and Adam, but we're over that hump and we're having our genetic clinics, so that's great. Our greatest success, I also would say, is that contract, getting an RFP together in Wyoming and all the logistics that go with that, and the contracting process at the state government level can be quite daunting. So I would say just getting that going is also our great success. Where did our state team's $1,200 go to? So Christy, I wanted to really get out the word about our genetic clinic. So Christy had sent me the coolest little thing. It's a stress reliever, like a stress ball, but it's not a ball. It's in the shape of a DNA helix, and it advertises our genetic clinic. So we purchased a bunch of those that will be going out next week to our family practice docs, pediatricians, every single provider in Wyoming, just letting them know about our genetic clinics that we have. And if you want to add anything, Amy, feel free.
Did they arrive, Carly? Did you get them?
Yep, I got them. They are so cute, and I can send you one if you want one, Christy.
Do you have one there that we could see?
I don't. I'm at home right now. They're in my office, but I'd be happy.
We have a sneak peek later in the presentation.
Oh, okay.
Not to give anything away. Thanks, Carly. Amy, did you want to add anything?
Sometimes her computer doesn't like Zoom, so I'm assuming that's probably right now.
Oh, she said she will chat here in the chat box. So if everybody can see that, it says we are working with WIN to create better surveys for our families.
And WIN, just so everyone knows, that's our acronym for our Wyoming Institute for Disabilities at our University of Wyoming. So we're working closely with them to better our genetic survey for our participants.
Great, and you guys did conduct a survey too, right, with them in the last year as well?
Yeah,
I remember you were waiting for an executive summary, maybe?
Yeah, so the survey was pretty all-encompassing. About a lot of services just directly with children with special healthcare needs to include genetics, just because we kind of wanted to see and get a pulse and get a foundation for what people knew about genetics in Wyoming. So we did do that. This survey that Amy's talking about is our follow-up survey for people who attend our clinic, just to see how the services were, if the services weren't available in Wyoming, what they would do, just so we could kind of figure out from there how valuable the program is really.
Great. With a couple minutes left, do you want to, anybody have any questions for Wyoming? If not, we can go on to Arizona.
Wait, could I ask a question? How long was your survey?
Which one? Our survey that we give to participants at our genetic clinic?
Mm-hmm.
It's about 10 questions, I think. And then there's also a space in there just for free form text for them to let us know any thoughts that they had about the clinic as well.
What's your response rate?
So we're starting a new survey, but we had a previous survey and our response rate's really good. We did set up, so our clinics are held at our local public health nursing offices, and we set up each nursing office with previous funding from MSRGN with iPads that we put the survey directly on. So the families are handed that iPad at clinic to complete the survey while they're there. So our response rate is great because they're sitting right there at clinic.
Great, thanks.
Awesome, thanks, Carly. Anybody else have a question? If not, we can go on to Rand and Kathy. Y'all are up. Take it away.
Rand, you want to go first?
Yeah. Sure. So I can start with our team's greatest challenge. We have, I think, two challenges. One was spending our $1,200, which is ironic because I am the go-to in newborn screening for spending money. Like, oh, we have this money we need to spend, I'll spend it. So the irony of me not being able to spend $1,200 is pretty silly. So we're almost there. I think we're gonna do it. I know we've got y'all stressed out about that. So so that was one of our challenges. The other was just COVID. I think everybody is pulled in so many directions, and you know, short-staffed, and getting our team outside of our state team meetings to be able to work on things. That's been probably you know, one of our biggest challenges, which leads to our biggest success is we've had the most participation this last year of any year we've had. So I think I'm really excited that our team has expanded enough that we have a lot of diversity. And so I think we've built a really good foundation to build on. So I would call that probably our big success. What do you think, Kathy?
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right. This was the first year that we met individuals from other communities and providers that just really added, I think, to our project here. You know, Supraja was fantastic, and I learned a lot from her, and then the U of A and the genetics students. So yeah, this was a good year for learning about other things and getting to know other people, even in the year of COVID. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Do you guys want to tell the group what you are trying to spend your money on?
Sure. Working with our genetic counselor, we were creating, and our family parent partners, we were creating a telegenetics brochure. So something to give to families either virtually or in person, just what to expect from a telegenetics visit. What does that mean? How to prepare? What to expect from that meeting. Kathy and I were ironically talking about it. It seems like everybody's coming out with some sort of telehealth brochure right now, which I, when we talked about it, was we're on target for what's needed, because clearly people are wanting more information on telehealth and how to maximize those visits. I think the market is starting to get saturated with that information, but this is a little more unique in that it does share what to expect from a genetics visit that's being done remotely versus just a general telehealth visit.
Yeah. I think, if we get a chance, it'd be nice to share at different conferences. If we ever get back to where we are presenting at conferences, it'd be a neat brochure to show and present at conferences.
You all are working on an electronic version of it too that'll be shareable as well. That might be helpful for some of the other regions. Though it has an Arizona flair to it, some of the other information might be interesting for some of the other states.
Yeah, definitely.
Great. Does anybody have any questions for Fran and Kathy? No? Oh, Melissa's got one. I see a hand up. Go ahead, Melissa.
Well, that was my question. I was trying to put my hand down.
How do I put my hand down? Is that your question?
Yeah, I figured that one out. But I was going to ask if it was state specific or if it could be used for the other states. So yes, or maybe adapted to the other states.
I think it's fairly generic in the content, and it's definitely, once it's done, it'll be easy to adapt to any state.
I think the thing that's different is our resources are different on the back. So you could take those away and put yours in there and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Great question, Melissa. Always thinking how it can be used somewhere else. That's that frugal Texas team. Got to watch out for. All right. Any other questions? If not, we'll move on to Utah. And I just saw Heidi joined and Chuck's here. Does anybody else have any questions for Arizona? Not hearing any. Go ahead, Chuck and Heidi, take it away.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I joined late. It's been a crazy week. Every week. I say that all the time. If you know me, that's all I ever say. It's crazy. Maybe I'm the crazy in this area. I don't know. Okay, our greatest challenge with our team, I would guess that it's pretty common, I guess, around all the teams, is just like getting everybody together, getting everybody excited, motivated, and like making, decisions as a group. I think that's always hard in groups. But it's been nice. We've had extra support with Cody helping out and helping get our meetings going every month. And I think our team just kind of continues to become more and more of a team. But I think, that's the challenge, is just, getting everybody on board and being able to have so many people work on a project together and feel like they have a voice. And anything else you want to throw out, Chuck?
No, I agree. And kind of like Arizona was saying, kind of doing it all virtually is a challenge, but we have had great participation, I think.
Yeah, I think we've adjusted. I think it was more challenging and it's gotten better, and I think we're all used to working from the same seat all day long. What was your state team's greatest success? I think it was like wrapping up this grant project and making all these decisions and getting it out the door and like meeting a deadline and crossing the finish line. So I don't want to spoil anybody else's presentation after us, but we did the Where's Bear book that we talked about at the last meeting, and it's the fun little book that we're going to have free at all of these different clinics where we think that there's a good potential young children could benefit from looking at are they meeting their milestones, and what does a milestone look like, you know, especially maybe a first-time parent or whatever, who I myself, when my child was this age, first child who is affected, I really did not understand that she missed a million milestones. Like I had so many people saying, you know, she'll catch up, you know, oh, Einstein, he talked when he was 10. But this is like a fun way to play a game, read a book, and maybe have an aha moment, and get parents more involved in looking for genetic services because of their awareness of their child's development. And it's a book that the CDC put out for the Learn the Signs Act Early program. And with permission, we are reprinting this and putting a little QR code on the inside of it and saying, hey, do you want to find more resources locally? And then that will be bringing them into our Utah page, where we'll have some information like the developmental delay algorithm and information on this book, and they can get more books from the CDC and connect with all the different support groups. So that was our big success, is that we got the book printed and out the door, and now phase 2 is how to distribute this around our state. And that's what our team has started talking about at our last meeting earlier this week.
Yeah, that was this week too. That's why it's such a crazy week.
Yeah. How are we going to get this out? But I think it'll be easy. And we put a big red banner across the front that says free, and we printed it in English and Spanish, and we're just going to put it everywhere. And not to spoil, but someone helped us find a really affordable printer. So we've got a lot of copies of this book, and we're just super excited to have a cool tool that sells itself. And that's where our $1,200 went. So I was
gonna say, just excuse the animal pun, but you killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Anybody have questions for Chuck and Heidi?
Is it something we could download
Yes.
to share? Okay. Is it on your page? I was looking. I don't see it.
We link to the CDC, and you can download it from them. You can request a few copies from them, not hundreds or anything, but they'll send you a few. And we could certainly send out one of our copies, you know, or we could just email you and you can view it online, what we did.
Okay, thank you.
So we did create, the URL it's leading to is not Utah. It is a map of our different states in the region. And so the family actually has to click on the Utah or click on the Texas or wherever they're from, which is cool because it's a reusable resource. And also it builds awareness that MSRGN is in this whole region. So, you know, your sister-in-law down in Texas or Wyoming or whatever, you know, you might say, hey, I found this site and I actually looked in it and I found you guys have early intervention, or you have, you know, whatever, and it might help drive some inner region awareness and traffic as well. There you go. That's what they'll hit. So
we just got this up yesterday, so it's fresh. So if, oops, I don't know if it's gonna let me type. This is the landing page that the QR code will take a family to in English. And when they click on Utah, it will go to their new and improved state team page. And Melissa, the Where is Fair book is linked right there as a PDF.
Thanks. And then we have that in Spanish button, if you notice that. And we translated our Utah page into Spanish. So there's a full Spanish version as well.
And Heidi, maybe as your team starts brainstorming about how best to distribute, we could do a group call with us and your team, Colorado and Utah team, and we could maybe brainstorm a little bit together.
That would be great. We could kill two birds with one stone and have our next team meetings together.
That would be great. We'll give,
Yeah,
but not in June, because
okay.
we have to take our pause. There was instructions, we're taking a break in June for a transition, right, Christy?
Yeah, transition from Joyce to Cody in that role. So, all right, great job, Heidi. Chuck, did you want to comment any more?
Nope. Heidi did a great job, and she's doing a great job as the real lead.
Really,
Chuck's gonna take on the distribution. He's gonna drive around the state.
I was gonna say you could get a motorhome and just toss it out the back. There you go. That's a good distribution plan. All right. Anyone have any questions for Utah? Any other questions? If not, we will switch to their partner on this project, Colorado.
So I'm going to start and Jamie's going to wrap up. So our state's greatest challenge, I think during this particular year, has been really the provider involvement, both even with getting new providers affiliated with our state team and the fact that we meet virtually. I think it's been a little harder for our providers to make those meetings, but also really have a good understanding of what the goals are and how they're going to participate in those activities. Even in identifying a PCP office for Time for Genetics, we the last one, Christy, we definitely struggled there. We heard a lot of it's COVID, it's busy, we can't take on another project. And so, and then the other kind of challenge was we had been having monthly webinars, our Genetic Tuesdays, for providers in our region, and we lost the Support of Children's Hospital telehealth team for doing those webinars and just haven't picked back up with how best to facilitate that. So I would say those is where more of a theme of kind of provider involvement versus our amazing consumers. Our greatest success has been our transition of a new co-lead with Jamie. So Tracy needed to step away. And honestly, Jamie just picked up and took off running and really is just getting so many amazing things done. So I wanted to point that out as our team's biggest success has been with Jamie. And with that, Jamie, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about all the amazing things that you've been collaborating with Utah to get this book printed and out the door.
Thank you, Erica, for your kind words. So yes, we teamed up with Utah to do the Where is Bear book, and Utah did a lot of the initial footwork on that. And after our state teams conference meeting, I had taken note that they were doing this project, and was like, that would be a great idea. So we stole their idea. Colorado stole their idea for the Where is Bear book. And so yes, we're doing English and Spanish versions. And we're hoping to get those printed out and start distributing those. And it was a little bit of a challenge trying to find a printer to do that economically. Yeah, so we're hoping to do some of the distribution with those through the Genetics Navigator program, getting those out to some of the different organizations and that work with families that have kids with needs, and also to different physicians' offices and such. We're also working on a kind of timeline. It's
roadmap.
A roadmap. It's a roadmap of
like services, resources, and transitions for how to like get into the system as far as Medicaid funding and receive genetic services and you know, the medical and educational job transition phase when they get out of school. So it's a fairly large undertaking, but we're trying to get that up and finished so that we can have that as a major resource for people to link to from the Where is Bear book, since the QR codes will link them to take them to our webpage. And somebody had asked about if the book is available on our state team pages. It's not, but the QR code on the book takes them to a landing page, and then from there they can go to our state pages. And it has to go to a landing page so that it can, and the only way to access it is through this landing page so that we can get the stats on it, how many people we're reaching, because we need those stats to keep getting grant money. So that's kind of the reasoning why it's not directly available through our webpage, so that we can keep track of you know, how many people we're reaching through this project. So
Great, thank you, Jamie.
Yep.
Does anyone else have any questions for Colorado?
We may have to partner more. I like that roadmap. Sounds good.
So you're going to use your navigator to distribute the books? That's a really good idea. I was thinking about that, our navigator here in Arizona, if we should be using them for our telehealth or telegenetics brochure.
Yeah, and we had also thought about doing it through different you know, events and things. It's just with COVID, it's going to take a while before in-person events, conferences and stuff start to pick back up. And you know, it's hard to you know, I found in doing events, it's best to partner with somebody for events. You get more attendance rather than just holding like an event. So like when I did the genetics pop-ups for a few years now, and it turned out much better when I partnered with, we had a higher attendance rate when we partnered with somebody else versus doing it by itself. And then it was just really hard online. I think so many people, I mean, telehealth is great, being able to just log in and have a meeting on Zoom and not have to drive, you know, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours to, you know, a meeting somewhere else in the state is great. But so many people are just Zoom fatigued to, you know, try and get that interest, draw that interest in, to have a big Zoom like meeting or conference with. I feel like doing something in person, face to face, really, you know, because people want food, they want that connection, and it's so hard to connect online. So yeah.
And Colorado has the added benefit that their genetic navigator is also Jamie. So that helps with the coordination of that distribution. All right, thank you guys. Moving on to Texas. Texas, are you ready? I think Melissa, you're representing Texas today.
Yes, and I had a quick question on the last one. I know you want to direct people to the page, but can you, Christy, Cody, answer the question? Can you track the downloads on how many times that it's been downloaded or clicked on or something?
So there's a couple different options. You can, the Colorado and Utah teams could have totally had it go right to their pages. However, it really came from the Utah team as they were thinking through this project that they wanted to know specifically how many people picked up this book and scanned the code. Okay. And to be able to do that, to be able to count how many people picked up the book and scanned the code, you have to have it going to a one spot that's the only way people can get there. Otherwise, you have, you know, web traffic, a Google search. those things would be picked up, you know, with the state team pages. If you Google Texas and genetics, it's possible that somebody finds your page, and then it's not, you don't know if that came from scanning the QR code or if it came from a Google search. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I just
Go
was
ahead.
thinking total
Oh.
clicks and, you know, using it for grants and things in the later down the line.
Yeah,
Okay.
so for our HRSA measures, we will be looking at a larger number of clicks and downloads and things like that. But for the specific information that the teams wanted to know,
Right.
that's there. We're going more granular for our inside knowledge and maybe our own internal QI projects to make Kathy and Liza smile.
Right.
All right, go ahead, Melissa, with your team
Okay.
questions.
Biggest challenge, couple. We also had trouble finding someone, you know, a clinic to represent Texas. Our first clinic backed out at the very last minute, and our new clinic actually had to play catch up, but we did find one, so that was good. And yes, getting everyone to focus. We have lots of great ideas. We have good participation in our team for the most part. But we do have a tendency to go down the rabbit hole and get sidetracked. So we really have to work on focusing. Greatest success. I think we've had a pretty good year. We are redesigning our Texas page for Mountain States, and that should be hopefully ready to go to hand off to Christy in the Mountain States team, hopefully by the end of this month. And we got that done. Our co-lead, Daphne Fulton, is a professor at, I always think of the wrong school.
Sam Houston.
Sam Houston, yes. I wanted to make sure I got it right. And her students are actually working on this. So again, I encourage you to use any of your university students, if you know anyone connected to universities, to do that legwork. And that kind of brings us to where our $1,200 went. We hired a grad student to make a directory of all the primary care providers in Texas. And then once that is completed, and we're paying her $1,000 to do that. And once that is completed, we will send out postcards with Mountain States and Texas team information. And again, that QR code to see how many go directly from the postcards to that. And we spent the other $200 on postage for the postcards. And then next cycle, we will buy the postcards. So anything else? Questions?
I think there was a couple more things the grad student was going to look at too, right? FQHCs, federally qualified health centers, and some pediatric offices. I remember the list.
Right, but pretty much all the primary care providers, whether that's pediatric or general practice or the, you know, FQHCs.
Great. Thank you. Any questions for Melissa before we move on to Montana? Daphne is sorry she couldn't be here today. She got called into a faculty meeting at the last minute. But thank you, Melissa, for doing the report out.
Melissa,
Yeah, go ahead.
with a huge state like Texas, how many providers is going to be on that list roughly? Seems insane.
Lots. We aren't 100% sure of that just yet, but we're figuring out how to pay for postage and postcards, things like that. You know, how we can economically get postcards printed. So we're pricing that out, whether it's working with a local printer. I don't think we can count on the universities to do that, but you know, there are some really good, inexpensive printers out there.
And we now have nonprofit status with UPrinting, who's printing our bear books. So maybe that's an option to take a look at. Thanks, Jamie, for the legwork on that.
Yeah.
All right, so Montana, you're up. Jen on, I see. Is Tara here today? Are you representing?
It looks like I'm representing.
Okay, go ahead, Jen.
Tara and I are pretty fluid that way since we're both parents and work for family organizations. Sometimes we have to be flexible. So I think our team, it's hard to define what our team's greatest challenge was. We had troubles figuring out our $1,200, and I think we were probably the only state that was unsuccessful in finding a pediatric practice for Time for Genetics. So anybody else that was feeling bad about that, we did not get our first one in time, so we'll be doing a couple next time, and we're trying to get ready to get all of them organized in a faster way since that was a struggle for us. I think our greatest success this last year has been adding to our team, and I think that's one of the things that may have led to some of our challenges too, is that we finally have a more well-rounded team, but that meant that we were bringing on new people and figuring out new relationships and getting to know each other better. And so that took us a little bit of time. It also did help us make some new good connections that we need to grow on, that should help us be more successful in the following years. For our team's $1,200, we partnered with our state loan program and purchased telehealth equipment to be able to loan out to families all across Montana to use for telehealth appointments. Our loan program loan out the equipment and ship it free both ways. They clean it and take care of it when it comes back in. They also are able to train people about how to use it and help people choose the right equipment for them, for the right equipment for the family that's seeking out equipment. And so we felt like that would, for the life of that equipment, it'll be able to continue to be loaned out to families all across our state. And then we're tracking the zip codes with those loans so that we can get the information to Liza. And thanks to Cody and everybody for helping us. We needed everybody's support to be successful with that. So thank you.
Thank you, Jen. And the group that she's talking about is called Montech, and I'm curious if that exists in other states. I don't know if our other state teams have explored it, but it's a equipment lending program for families with special needs children.
Yep. And every state has one. And if my coworker was here, I would have the link so you could see where the one in your state is. Ours loans out, and they don't just loan out I love the program, so I have to do a little bit of a plug for it. They don't just loan out technology equipment. They also loan out things like wheelchairs, things to help with hearing and vision, things to help you go skiing or boating, tricycles, toys that are switch activated. They have all different kinds of equipment that they can loan out. So every state does have one.
Great. If you could get us that link, Jen, and send it to us after the call, that would be great. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Jen in Montana?
Jen, this is Janet. So I think I got my answer, I think, at the end, but it's specifically a loan project for kids with special needs. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it'd be interesting to get the link and see what else is out there for all of our states. That's an excellent collaboration.
Yeah, I will do that. So they actually loan equipment to anybody in the entire state from birth to age 110 with any kind of disability. So you can have an acquired disability, you can have been in an accident, you could be born with a disability. So they will also loan to childcare programs, to pediatricians' offices. So if they wanted to try out an iPad for communication when patients come in, they could test that out. And then they don't sell anything. So then you can go to your insurance company or your board or whoever and say, hey, we tried out this piece of equipment. Here's the results we got. We think it will have long-lasting positive results for us. We'd like to purchase it. So lots of families and school districts use those things for that too. So I'll get you the link.
I have a question too. I have a question. Can patients initiate the contact with them, or does a physician have to initiate contact?
I think most of the contact comes from the patients calling themselves. So you can call yourself or your grandma or whoever. So I think actually more people or consumers are aware of the program, maybe even so than providers. So I think it's a lot of word of mouth on Facebook, people seeing kids riding the cool new trike and wanting to try it out, or riding on the cool new sled. And the telehealth stuff has been great. We've partnered with them on some Family Voices telehealth. things, and it's been really successful.
Okay, great.
Great. Thank you, Montana. Thank you, Jen. And Sandy, since you asked the last question and you're up next. I don't see Dale on here, so are you representing today?
Yes. Mhm.
Great. Go ahead.
I just wanted to first congratulate everybody. I'm taking notes here, and everybody's doing really exciting things. And just congratulations to everybody. It's amazing what all the states are doing. So we have some good ideas. Hopefully we can build upon for our state. For New Mexico, our greatest challenge and our $1,200 sort of went together. That money, you wouldn't think it would be that hard to use, but it is. So we're partnering with UNM, University of New Mexico Genetics, Dr. Mike Marble, and they are a little short on computers. They're having a new geneticist come in and 2 new genetic counselors. So we're in the process of purchasing 1 to 2 computers for them. Right now, in return, we just like to get some zip code information for the database for the Mountain States team to see where these kids are that we're seeing in New Mexico. And because of that, it has to go to the IRB, the Internal Review Board at UNM, because it's patient involved and it's personal information. So that's where we're stalled right now. Our greatest success, I think, was we got a clinic right off the bat. It's Taos Clinic for Children and Youth in Taos, New Mexico. The provider up there really handles pretty much, I would say, most of the special needs children up in northern New Mexico. You know, we're pretty rural like a lot of the other states, except for Albuquerque. And Dr. Sylvia Villarreal was very excited to partner with us. So, and I think we've already done 1 or 2 presentations, right, Christy, with them?
Yeah, we had the kickoff call. The newsletter went out in May, and our Red Flags for Genetics webinar is coming up in May. So that's up on the website for our Time for Genetics. And I would have to say her entire office staff is involved. I think there's 5 or 6 on their staff that are super excited about it. So good pick.
Yeah, and so now we're starting to look at other clinics in different areas of our state to reach out to. And so that's, I think that's our biggest success. But I am interested in some of the other things you guys are doing. So we'll discuss it and see if we can partner with others.
Yeah, thanks, Sandy. Does anybody have any questions for Sandy? It is frustrating on the IRB part, but we want to make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed and everybody's comfortable with the arrangement. So thank you guys for bearing with us as we work with them through that.
I will add, because New Mexico population-wise, we're a smaller state, a lot of the pediatricians, we all know each other in one way or another. And I think that's helped getting the clinics for Time for Genetics, because I personally am friends with different pediatricians in different parts of the state. So that has been to our advantage for sure.
Working your connections, Sandy. We appreciate it. All right, and we're gonna switch here to Nevada to wrap up here, so we have some time for some awards. So Hannah, are you able to, I saw you on, is it your connection working okay?
I used my phone instead, so.
Okay, I can hear you, so go ahead.
Awesome. Can you see me? Maybe not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So I guess I'll just go ahead in the interest of time. Our state team's greatest challenge, I think some have mentioned it, getting the members to participate. Definitely, we've had a rough year last year for everyone involved personally as well. So we realized that, but one thing that we did do to kind of, get past that was to provide a survey for our state team to just let them know, hey, how are you doing? How can we be of help? And at the same time, it kind of served as a reminder to say, hey, are you still able to participate as a state team member? Or guess what? You can also participate as a state team resource. So that was a great way for us to kind of, identify where we could be of help to our state team members, and at the same time where they can be of help to us, maybe not as a member, but maybe as a resource. And then our greatest success is we have quite a few actually, and my counterpart Yasmin is not able to be with us today, but she has given me a bullet line here, a couple bullets. So first, we did attend the Nevada chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics, which was a virtual conference. And in doing that, we were able to get a list of providers that attended the conference. And so it kind of led to us being able to hire a student intern to compile a list of providers for us, and also a list of pediatrics offices or other primary care providers offices. That way we can distribute anything that we need to distribute, which also leads, it actually led us to finding somebody at Desert Valley Pediatrics for the Time for Genetics. So that it all kind of, this long chain of events that happened that was very fortuitous for us. And then also we were able to partner recently, just a month ago, with CDC's Learn the Signs Act, I believe, ambassador to Nevada, Dr. Deborah Vigil, I think, or Vigil. And she is going to be able to give us some materials that we can also distribute to these providers, list of providers that we were able to acquire. And then on top of that, that led to another opportunity for us as a team to represent MSRGN and also the Nevada State team to the LEND program. So we're going to do a couple of presentations, I think one for just the trainings and then one for just the faculty of the LEND program here in Nevada that Christy's going to be part of. Let's see. One more thing. I think she added one more thing here. Oh, she said, don't forget to let everyone know that you're our genetics navigator. I didn't want to say it, but I didn't want Yasmin to think I didn't mention it. So I guess to her and to the rest of the team, that was such a great success, apparently. And I hope I can fill the role appropriately. So our 1200, actually, I mentioned it already. So our 1200 went to the conference fee for the American Academy of Pediatrics for Nevada. And then we also used the student intern for that. And then we were able to create, with the help of Joyce, Cody, and Christy, obviously, the genetics resource, as we call it, genetics resource magnet, that it has a QR code on it that anybody that it will be distributed to will receive, and it will land on our state team's webpage. And then recently, actually just 2 days ago, I was able to attend the Global Genes Rare on the Road Rare Disease Leadership Training and Networking. And I was able to represent MSRGN and our Nevada State team, and as the new genetics navigator with the organization. And I am now being pulled in multiple ways, because now they are talking about me possibly attending the, let's see, the State Legislative Council and Advisory Council. And hopefully we can also reach out to our Governor's Council for Developmental Disabilities here in Nevada. So more to that, Christy, because I think I need to talk to you about that. But that's it, everyone, for Nevada. And
been busy,
yeah.
Hannah.
Very.
All right, anyone have any questions for Hannah? Again, we have another state team co-lead, and we should say Jen Bonna is also one of our genetic navigators. So I think we have 3 genetic navigators here represented in our co-leads. So thank you. All right, if not, it's awards time. Is everybody ready for awards? Yeah. All right, Joyce, you are up first with our Wyoming award. Let me advance it here. There's the squeezy. Go ahead.
Okay, this is really, well, I think the first part was so informative and great to hear what everyone is doing. But we decided Wyoming, we get the Busy Bee Award for their hard work with limited resources and squeezing honey out of DNA squishies. And that hard work paid off really well with the succeeding in getting that contract through. That is a huge, huge job. And so we wanted to award Wyoming the Busy Bee Award.
And that's a picture of the squishy.
Thank you.
So for everybody who was wondering. So congratulations, Carly and Amy.
Thank you.
Do you have an acceptance speech? No, don't worry.
I don't.
Don't worry, we don't have time for it. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna go into the next one. All right, so Cody's gonna present this one to Arizona. Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, and second, everything that Joyce said, great hearing from everybody. So for Arizona, we have the Dynamic Deer Award presented to you for your endearment of genetic counselors in your state and welcoming them to the state team.
Great job, Arizona. All right, and the next one I have, and this one's for Utah. We couldn't resist the Where is Bear Award since you all led the way with finding this resource and collaborating with the CDC's Learn the Signs Act Early, Where is Bear book, and helping families identify developmental delays early and talk to their PCPs about genetics. So congratulations to Utah for the Where is Bear Award. All right, next one up is the Lion Award. Joyce?
Well, yes, this is fun for the Colorado team for their roaring success with Genetic Tuesdays virtual education series. That was really a wonderful project, and we hope you'll be able to revive it again. Keep it going, but thank you. And that.
All right. Yeah. And the next one, go ahead, Cody, for Texas.
Yep, a state that is near and dear to my heart. For Texas, we've got the RAM Award for your unwavering strength and team synergy.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Texas. And next I have don't sneak peek. Sorry, I advanced too much. For Montana, and Jen alluded to this in her presentation, we have the Beaver Team Building Award because the Montana State team had a great success in the past year. They brought over 7 new members to their team, diversifying their representation, not only by geography of their state, but also perspectives. So congratulations, Montana. And the next one, sorry, I skipped ahead too soon, but Joyce, do you want to present New Mexico?
Sure do. To New Mexico State team for, it's the Gorilla Award. And we know there are no gorillas in New Mexico, but this goes to that state team for beating the bushes instead of their chest for telehealth in New Mexico. And we all know Dale is retired, but he is still fighting the fight to get telehealth out there and used more and more. And we thank him for that too. We thank you both for that.
Great, congratulations, New Mexico. And last but not least, we have Nevada. Go ahead, Cody.
For Nevada, we have the Tenacious Tiger Award for your tenacity inspiring the next generation of public health genetics professionals and distributing genetics resources across the state.
And I'll just add a note to this. If folks don't know what we're referring to there, last grant cycle, the Nevada team made a brochure for Public Health Genetics Week on careers in public health genetics. And so that is being used nationally now. And the second Public Health Genetics Week is coming up the last week of May. And it is linked to the website and will be distributed nationally for the upcoming Public Health Genetics Week. So thank you all for all the efforts that went into that and all the new stuff you're doing with sharing more resources. All right, with that, that wraps up our awards part. So, and I just saw Daphne joined us. Daphne, you were able to make it. Welcome. Did you want to say hello?
Hello.
She's in the blue bonnets. Oh goodness. All right, so let me get back to the and we'll send a PDF out with these, and then I'll also put them on the website so you can share them with your team during your next state team meetings. So for this last part, we wanted to just talk a little bit about improvements and things that maybe we can take as a management team into our next grant year. I just did want to acknowledge we have some of our management team with us today. So I think we've got Janet and Kathy and Liza on. So thank you guys for joining. But we just wanted to talk about, you guys have given us some successes, some challenges. That $1,200 is super hard to spend. But we would love some ideas on things that we can take back. We're having a management team retreat early in June where we'll be doing some planning for the next year, and would love your ideas on what Mountain States can do to better help and support you all in your state teams. So I'm just going to open it up feel free to unmute your mic, raise your hand, talk in the chat if you have some thoughts.
Christy, this is Kathy. And as you all think about your thoughts and feedback, which were greatly welcome, let me give you our perspective as I sat and listened today. You guys have no idea how impressive you all are. I just, all I did was a pop-up. Oh, I don't know. I just circulated a brochure. Really, in this program, this region leads on a national level. And the resources and what you see as small steps taken perhaps in your state, I'm almost, tearful. You guys are amazing. And you know what you say, all we do is build the state team. Awesome. Because that relationship's going to continue, right? We have grant years coming. Don't worry, we're not cutting you off. But this is incredibly important work. And I just want to reassure all of you, it is recognized from the management team, sure, but it is recognized nationally. And never doubt that the little steps that you're taking that seem like, what's the big deal, have incredible ripple effects, which you've heard about from many of the teams, and the cross-state collaboration. I'm just kind of blown away this morning. You guys are amazing. And so, we're always looking to improve. We want to help you out more. We're not taking away the $1,200 burden. I think it's a mixed blessing that gives you some tools to use and it forces some creativity. Unless you tell us you really don't want money anymore. Okay, we'll take it back. But let me just say by way of encouragement, you guys are amazing. Every single thing that you've done is going to have sustained ripple effects, no matter how small it seems to you in this moment. And I just want to say congratulations.
Agreed. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy. And you know what I want to do before we get into more discussion? Does everybody have their cameras on? Would everybody smile? Can I take a picture? Can I take a screenshot? I've got all the pictures up. Jamie's over the back of her couch. All right, everybody smile. Ready? I'm going to take a quick picture. Say cheese. Cheese. Okay, I got y'all. All right. Jamie has her hand up. Go ahead, Jamie.
These two things that I have just suggestions or requests for help with, I know we've already discussed about, but help with finding somebody for translating and converting things to Spanish across the board for all of MSRGN. And then help finding somebody from the Native American population to serve on our teams. I know some of the teams do have, but I know that's an underserved population, and just trying to connect with that community to find somebody from that community to be participate in our teams, because we need to reach them, and it's hard to help and reach them and without somebody on our team and being able to connect with them.
Great suggestions, Jamie. I know we've talked about both of these internally, and I know specifically have held a spot for the Spanish discussion for our retreat, but can add, Joyce and I have talked a little bit, brainstormed around the Native American population. So thank you for bringing those up again, and absolutely we will.
Can I make a suggestion about interpreting? Many universities now have bilingual healthcare programs in them, and they are looking for projects to translate. I know that ours does, and we have developed fact sheets around a particular genetic disorder, and they've translated all of them into Spanish. And since they are training to be bilingual healthcare professionals, it's their professors are very picky about it being interpreted correctly or translated, depending on what you're doing.
That's a great suggestion,
So
Daphne.
contact your-
So Daphne, who do we reach out to? Is it just reaching out to the admin, to the healthcare programs department to see?
Our department is population health. It's being changed. The name's changing to public health. But you may look at if they have a College of Health Sciences, they'll probably know. You can reach out to the Spanish department because they'll have resources. Sometimes they're not real sure about medical interpreting because there's a lot of words that we use that aren't necessarily used in Spanish. So they have to be real careful about that. But in our program, I work enough with the students in the bilingual health care program that I just contacted the Spanish department, and they are using this they use this as one of their projects for their upperclassmen. And so then we pilot test it with our Spanish population. So check out College of Health Sciences, Public Health, or even the Spanish department.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Daphne. Oh, you know what? We have some people in the waiting room. Cody, can you let them in? Sorry, we maybe have some extra guests here today. Surprise! We are now switching to Joyce's retirement party. Thanks for all joining us.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Joyce.
Sorry.
Hi, Joyce.
We still want to hear all your ideas for improvements, so please send them to us on email, but we're going to switch for some fun now. And we are just so sad to see our friend Joyce go, but we want to celebrate what an amazing piece of this region, really the cornerstone of this region she's been over the years. So Joyce, you'll need to look at your participant list because you might see some old names there have joined us from way back and across the country. I see Linda Beischel, I see Camille. Hi Camille, hi Karen.
Hello.
Let's see who else we got there.
Sharon, hi.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Oh my
Hi,
goodness.
Joyce.
Mary Rose. Oh,
Joyce.
oh my goodness.
And guess what, Joyce? We have some awards for you. So we're gonna start it off with some awards from our management team, and then we've collected all of your if you sent some sentiments, we've collected them on some slides and some pictures, and so we'll just have an open mic time where you can share your well wishes for Joyce. So let's start off with our management team awards. Go ahead, Kathy, you're up.
All right. Joyce, so I picked this award to share with you because this is how I picture you. You are always the bright spot, the light, let's move around, landing gently, even if you're like, well, Kath, that might not be a great idea, but let me find the bright spot in it and let me just be gentle as I land on your shoulder to whisper in your ear. I knew of you before you knew me from a long time ago through Sedona, right in Peter Lane. And I also know what others have said about you. You've had a full life, and days have not always been bright. And yet what I heard from everyone who knows you is that no matter what might be happening in your life or in your career or in your journey, that yours is always the bright, uplifting, let's figure out what we can do together. And so I just, you have been such a blessing, and I will always think of you when I see the butterfly, and look forward to you sitting on our shoulder going forward when we feel like we just need your input on something, but no obligation. So thank you so much, Joyce. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And don't worry, I'll package all these up for you at the end, so you'll have a memento. So the next one, this is from Jan. Jan, you want to go ahead?
Sure. So Joyce, I will echo everything Kathy says. When I think of Mountain States, I think back, feels like I was first introduced to Mountain States, I think back when I was a fellow. So it's been a long time. And I remember those early meetings up in Steamboat.
Yes.
But it does seem like, Joyce, you were always around even then. And it's amazing to me that you have persisted in your participation for these many, many years. And we've all been better for your participation. So this is the Quick as a Fox Award. And it's being presented to you for being quick to the pickup on subtle nuances that escape many of us. You were always quick to address a concern, a piece of wise advice, or share a word of encouragement. I would also add you were always quick to connect the dots between public health and clinical care and the consumers and advocates. And you were always very quick to connect all of us to each other during our in-person meetings. And, now this last year, even for the virtual meetings. So you have always been part and parcel to me of Mountain States. And you will certainly be missed, but we've enjoyed and benefited from your participation over the years. So best of luck in all you do after this. And keep in mind, if you get bored, you can always come back. We'll take you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
And this next one, I think Liza was going to present. Liza, are you there?
I'm here. Hi, Joyce. I get the pleasure of presenting the Welcoming Walrus Award. I think Janet sort of alluded to all of the value add that Joyce provides to MSRGN, mostly around her commitment to building relationships and networking. I, of course, have known Joyce. Joyce, I had to think back on this, 2006, when I very first got involved as a project coordinator in Mountain States, and the grant that was awarded in 2007, and have been involved on and off, and built a relationship not only with Joyce, but with everyone who was on this call, and just value that beyond any other professional relationship I have had. It's really defined my career in a lot of ways, and that is attributable to Joyce and the way she helped develop me as a professional in this field, and with the skills she instilled in me, Joyce, instilled in me, in not just thinking about what we can learn together, but how we can be friends with each other and develop relationships that last a long time. So your welcoming spirit will be missed, but we know we'll also still keep in touch. Congratulations on the Welcoming Walrus Award.
Thank you.
That's a hard phrase to say, sorry.
That is a tongue twister.
Gosh.
Stephanie, are you on? I saw THI convening.
I'm here. I'm sorry that I'm late, everyone. And I came in just in time for tears. So my gosh, it happened immediately. So Joyce, of course we love you. We know you will not be doggone. You're going to be close. And we're going to keep bugging you because we'll miss you too much. So it has been nothing short of great and exciting, and I'm honored to present this award with a shared love and respect for all four-legged creatures, well, and all others too. And just hope that you get some more time with your pups and your horses, and I know the dogs aren't at the beach, but you and I share that love as well. So I will truly miss hunting down your purse and your cell phone and anything else. And if you need someone to go on all these trips with you and help you keep up with things, I'm your girl. So
Yes, you are.
Just enjoy your time. You have earned it and have just been such a wonderful, wonderful person to work with and be friends with over the years. So it's not goodbye. You don't get to go completely MIA. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, this next one I'll go ahead and present. This is the Horse and Around Award. And based on some of the pictures that we received, I know that Joyce is always ready for some fun, whether it's visiting the monuments after a national meeting in Washington, D.C., or a mariachi band on the Riverwalk, or you're working with Joyce when you get on a conference call and she's in Nova Scotia and she tells you that she just helped her neighbor deliver a new pony. And so these are truly her love. And for those of you who've just joined us, we picked the theme of our co-lead meeting around animals in honor of Joyce. And that's why we're doing animal themed awards, because we know that Joyce loves the four-legged furry friends, but we love that she loves us two-legged ones as well.
You bet. You bet.
Thank you. So I'm going to do one more here. This is the mariachi band proof that there she is.
On the Riverwalk, yes.
And this next one, Joyce, do you have your box by you by any chance?
Oh, I certainly do.
Okay, well, while I present this, you can open your box.
It's about time.
So I sent this box to Joyce a week ago, and it had stickers all over it saying, "Do not open until the call." And it has been hard to keep this a secret. And I don't even know if you're pretending, Joyce, but I accidentally sent the email about this to your email. So I'm hoping it was one of the ones you didn't read. So anyway, this DNA Mouse Award is unique, and it'll all make sense here in a second once she gets her box open. But Joyce has really been the godmother to MSRGN. She has been here for over 35 years. She always says, I've been here since 1985. And so, and she's really knitted together this region and has been a thread that has been a constant. And I can tell she's looking for scissors. Did you find them? So anyway, Joyce, you have been an amazing mentor to me. And back when I called Liza that first day looking for information for my sweet little girl, and he then applied for a position, and you guys said, oh, maybe you can help us with social media. I remember, and website, and I remember sitting down with you, going through the website and asking, what does this mean? What does that mean? What's the difference between telehealth and telegenetics? And all of these questions that we still talk about today, right? We're still talking about them. And Joyce patiently and calmly explained it all to me and mentored me to doing what I am doing today. So Joyce, you get the DNA Mouse Award. And once you unwrap all the bubble wrap, this will all make sense.
I'm still struggling. You wouldn't believe how this thing is.
I put a couple extra levels of tape on it. It's a little bit fragile, so be careful.
Oh dear, here we go.
There's a heavy one in there and a light one. Pick out the light one first.
Pick up the light one first?
Yeah. And I see Harlan's joined us. Hi, Harlan, the smallest member of the MSRGN team. Hi, Harlan.
The little, can you see?
You have to hold it. There you go. There you go. Hold it close to her virtual. Yeah. So it's a little mouse knitting a strand of DNA, and It's actually a statue in Russia, from what I understand. It's a replica, but we just saw that and just thought that is who Joyce is to our region. So there's one more in there you can unwrap as well.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, that is beautiful. Where do I do that?
There you go, right there.
Right there. Oh, that is gorgeous. Thank you.
We know you're packing to go to California, so we hope you have room in your boxes.
I absolutely do. I do. I hardly know where to begin, but thank you all for your very kind words. I've just been very blessed for all these years to be part of a group that, you know, is so unique in its job and working with the network, the collaboration back to the network and the state teams. It's been so much fun, and not many people are blessed to be able to say that. And you all are just so precious to me. And I look at you and I don't see you just as comrades in our work, but as friends. And I will definitely miss you all and miss the work of the network and the state teams in particular. I sat here and took notes like I'm going to need them, but you know, it's just so wonderful. As Kathy said, this is her idea, and she just let me and then through Christy and others take this idea and really run with it, and you made it into the co-leads. The teams have made this something really noteworthy. And yes, we are very much nationally respected on the work that's done here in Mountain States. And just thank you all for your friendship. That means so much to me. Thank you.
So we have 68 slides of messages that have been sent in to you, Joyce. So I'm not going to go through them all, but I know some of the folks are on the call today that would probably love to say something to you in person. But I do have some pictures interspersed, so I might clip through them while people are talking so we can see some pictures and reminisce a little bit. So is there anyone on the call that would like to unmute and just share some sentiments with Joyce? Feel free to go ahead or raise your hand or just talk.
So this is Debbie Friedenberg.
There's Debbie. Hey, Debbie.
Hi. So Joyce, I don't even know how long we've known each other for. It's been a really long and very wonderful time. One of the things I will always remember is those Clydesdales plopping down the streets in the middle of Vegas. With Joyce having tears running down her face because she was so overjoyed to see them. And that's just one part of Joyce, with the love of every living being, not just the two-legged form as we know, but more importantly, Joyce's vision and true soul and heart of united everyone and everything. And Mountain States has surely prospered from Joyce's vision and Joyce's true love of the dignity of every living thing. So thank you, Joyce, for all of the work that you've done. And I'm not saying goodbye because I know we'll continue our long friendship as well as our genetics interactions. So I just want to say thank you for all you've done, for all you will continue to do.
Joyce, greetings from Southwest Wisconsin.
Hi, Rob.
Wow. As everyone has said, the years we've had as friends will continue. Thank you for accepting me to Mountain States way back when. And just a real quick funny story. One annual meeting in Phoenix, it was around Joyce's birthday. And somebody thought to have some fun, so the glitter story began. And I think Joyce knows, she's laughing, yes. So really short, as far as long, this is a short one. We put glitter around her computer at the table, and she just could not figure out where the glitter was coming from. So she certainly had a glittering birthday, so to speak.
Thanks for sharing, Rod.
Thank you, Rod.
It
Miss
looks like
you.
it looks like Camille has her hand up. Go ahead, Camille.
Hi,
Well,
Camille.
Joyce, I just joined all of your friends in Advocate who are, I know, just jumping up and down with joy that you're going to be available for card games all day now. But come on in. The water is fine in retirement. And I look forward to more visits and conversations. And God bless you and your whole family.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, Joyce. Everything that you said, I agree with. You are a bright light. You always have been. And thank you so much for being so welcoming from day one. Every time I saw you at whatever it was, 6 months later or a year previous, whatever, you always came up and gave the best hugs and were consistently and sincerely interested and compassionate and caring about how I was doing and my family. And you actually remembered who was in my family. And I don't know how you did that, but thank you so much for everything. I'm so happy for you, and God bless you and your family also.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you.
We have a couple other hands up. I saw Karen, I think.
Hi.
New England, hi.
Hi. I really love the word mentor, and you've really been a mentor for the whole country. I think all up and down, being in New England, I got to hang out with you and go see butterflies and night trips of the monuments that were just really highlights in my life. Some of those nights, some of my best experiences being with people at a national level, but also just it was just so much fun. We ate so many hamburgers. We saw all those tiny little cars. Just really treasured memories. But I feel like you kind of took me under your wing a little bit as well too, to learn what the system was. And it's I just love your passion for Eleanor Roosevelt, and it's just kind of a wonderful part of you that I just wanted to mention because I always think of it. So I just wish you the best.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you.
And I have some pictures from Karen. They're just towards the end of the slideshow, so we'll get to those here momentarily. Thank you, Karen, for sending those photos. And it looks like Sharon has her hand up. Go ahead, Sharon.
Yes, Joyce, just so happy to be here to celebrate you and to thank you for all your years of service on behalf of all of us who have families who are affected by genetic conditions. Remembering and probably not remembering because my memory isn't as great as I age, which maybe you share with me.
Very much.
Yeah, all the ways that you welcomed us in Genetic Alliance, as well as all the families when we weren't really at any tables all those years ago. You know, for me now 26 years ago, and then enjoying our ride essentially through creating the regions, let alone having Mountain States become the region with such prowess and such amazing ability to really address the issues that we all care about. So thank you for your leadership. Really enjoying that you get now to enjoy life in a different way. And I precede you in moving to California, which I did about 2 months ago.
Right.
So we welcome you to this great state, and I look forward to maybe when I drive up and down the coast, we can encounter each other again. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cher. Thank you.
And it looks like Carrie has her hand up. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hi, Joyce.
Carrie.
Hi. I'm so excited to, I got to tell you, I'm kind of jealous because everybody's known you for so long. And I've only got to get to know you for the past few years, but you have been kind of, representing us with the state team in Nevada. You've been kind of like our comfort blanket, because as you know, we were a mess when we started. But, under your support and your guidance, then I'm so proud of what Hannah and the Nevada team have become. And a lot of that has to do with you. I mean, your passion, your care, and you are so honest about how much you care about the work that we're doing. And I just wish I had more time to work with you because you're amazing. You really are. And I just wanted to say congratulations. You have left your impact on the world and so many people. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you cry.
Oh, thank
But
you.
yeah, I'm glad I made you cry. Good.
Oh, somebody else has their hand up. Is that Kirk?
Hi, Joyce. It's Kirk. How are you?
Hey.
Joyce, I haven't seen you in such a long time. I'm going to be moving to California too, so I'm retiring at the end of the year.
Good.
I remember those days. I started in, believe it or not, in 1986 when I was at Vivigen, and I remember Kirk and the Vivigen doing a routine at one of our talent shows, and so many good times up there. And I really respect and admire all the work you've done over the years, Joyce. And I wish I hadn't dropped out in the last few years. Well, last maybe 10 years, I don't know. But it's been a pleasure knowing you all these years. Just a pleasure.
Thank you, Kirk. It's been great knowing you too.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to talk? Go ahead. There are a few folks, Joyce, that couldn't make it today, but they sent their best wishes. Go ahead, Hannah.
Hi, Joyce. I just
Hi,
wanted to
Hannah.
say that I will surely miss you. And I would like to echo Carrie again that yes, you have been such a blessing for Nevada that, yeah, I agree with Carrie. There, maybe join the Nevada team. Robin posted it. So, I mean, we're looking for members. We're up for it. You don't have to live in Nevada.
No, but she's in California. She can come to Vegas. So, we're just a 45
right?
minute flight.
Right? We can do a reunion with Carrie.
I have an extra bedroom.
So we will miss you so much. And just like Carrie said, you have left such an impact. You probably will never know how huge it is. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Natasha.
Go ahead, Natasha.
Hi,
Hi.
Natasha.
Hi, Joyce. So good to see you. I mean, I don't know what to say that hasn't been said, but I just wanted to say thank you for everything. And take note, you already have people who are fighting over you, trying to get you to their state. So I think that says a lot. But congratulations on such an amazing career. Saying the word career makes it feel smaller than it is. Just kind of this life work that you've done has been so amazing and inspirational. I really miss those advisory committee meetings where you'd always come in and you'd have the sheets and you'd be ready to do your updates, and just you always bring so much, not just information, but energy to everything that you do. And that's the key, right? Like that's actually what made all the change. And so I know we all on this call and those who couldn't make it are all just thinking, all right, how are we going to be a little bit more like Joyce in the work that we do? So thank you so much for everything, and enjoy this next phase.
Yeah. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you.
And I'd love to do a group picture. If people would turn their cameras on, can we do a group picture for Joyce's memento? Jamie and Ivy, I might have to do 2 screens. It looks like mine's gone to 2 screens. Wow. Okay. Screen 1, you ready? Everybody smile and say, Joyce is the best. 1, 2, 3.
Joyce is the best.
Oh, it must, hang on. I got to do it again. Sorry. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Joyce
is
the best.
Okay, now I'm going to do screen 2. There we go. Ready? 1, 2. 1, 2, whoops. 1, 2, 3. Joyce is the best. All right. Anybody else like to talk? Don't see any other
Thank
hands.
you all.
Oh, go ahead,
Thank
Mary Rose. I see her a real hand up,
Ooh,
not
there
a
she
virtual hand.
is. Hi, Mary Rose.
Joyce, I just wanted to say, I just realized that I've known you probably the longest since 1985.
Right.
And all those wonderful corn meetings and all the fun things we did afterwards, and we're not going to discuss them on here.
No, we better not.
And then also, I just dawned on me that am I now the only original coordinator still doing this stuff?
I think so.
This. Anyway, congratulations. You'll enjoy your retirement, and we'll keep in touch on Facebook.
We sure will. Thank you. Oh, I'm overwhelmed. I'm just so overwhelmed.
Would anyone else like to share? I feel like we need to have like refreshments and drinks and
Wouldn't that be
party
nice?
hats and
Yeah,
confetti.
yeah. Right. Another time, eh? Thank you all for being on here and the kind words, and I'm just overwhelmed. I can't talk. And when I can't talk, that's really something.
Joyce, I didn't actually realize you were going to California. Can you tell me a little bit about the plans?
Well, yes, Dave and I, tomorrow I'm having a garage sale. It's taken over my life. But we are moving, selling the house, and we are moving to the Escondido area, which is about 25 minutes northeast of San Diego proper.
Right
And
next to the city that I'm in, Joyce. I'm in Vista. So
you're so close. Yes.
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 Yeah, and I'm going to be
we
moving to
love
Escondido.
that area. We will see each other, Sharon, I promise you. But you know, we have one son in San Diego and one in Hawaii, and it just makes sense that, and we like being warm all year long, and flowers and greenery and yada yada. So we're going we'll put the house on the market next month, and then we'll head to San Diego. We'd like to have a trip up to Nova Scotia before, but the border probably will not open before August or September. So, but let me say this, that in Nova Scotia, and some of you have come up to visit us there, we have a huge home, and we're a little fishing village, and you all are invited to come up, stay with us, and just enjoy going back into the 1950s. It's just another world. So I hope I get to see some of you up there, and of course in California too. Come on out.
Don't forget Vegas, Joyce. We're down here too.
It's right on the way. Right.
Joyce, I don't know if you heard Kirk say, I think he said he's moving to Escondido. Is that right?
No, Encinitas. I'm moving to
Encinitas. Okay, go
Encinitas,
ahead.
yeah. So we'll be in the same area again. It's great.
You're going to Encinitas?
Yep, gonna move there at the beginning of next year.
We're gonna have Sharon, and we're gonna have a reunion out in California.
That's great. Why is everybody? It's funny. I thought everybody was moving away from California.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. That's it's really nice to think of you three there. I have family out there, and I love the state.
And I have a 4-bedroom house and just me, so come on down or over or across.
So is it grandkids driving everybody? What's going on here?
Yep, my son is in San Diego and in Mira Mesa. Yep.
Yeah, same here.
And a 3-year-old granddaughter, so.
Oh, that's the best.
So there's a comment, Joyce, from Summitkar, Arizona. They don't know how to raise their hand, but I didn't know if they wanted to turn their, I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I don't know if you can hear me, Joyce.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Who is this?
This is Ruth Ann Snakel from Arizona. I was part of the newborn screening program back in the late 80s, 90s. And I remember you so fondly, and I was very happy to have received an invitation. I've kept up in getting the emails over the years, and I'm just so happy to be able to see your face again after all of these years. I really enjoyed your introduction into newborn screening for me, and our meetings, our half-yearly meetings during spring training.
Yes,
that's
yeah.
really a lot of fun.
We went to the games. Yeah.
Yep. And always arranging the mid-year meetings to coincide with the spring training games.
That's right. And you may not know this, but the Arabian Horse Show that was in Phoenix, I made sure the second week of February we had a meeting there. Yes.
My father-in-law was involved in the Arabian Horse Trust, so we always went as well. So,
and I have to say, a lot of planning, networking came out of the ball games. We'd be there and talking all, you know, you never quit talking genetics. As sad as that may be, it's a good thing too. And a number of projects and working together, partnering came out of the ball games that we attended.
Yes, they were great. And the weather was here was much better in February, March than in Denver.
Yeah, definitely.
It's also nice seeing you, Kirk.
And Joyce, there's a question in the chat if we can share your post-retirement or your retirement email, and I'm guessing it's going to stay the same as it is right now. Can I put that in the chat for everybody?
Sure.
You're going to keep your DNJ Hooker at MSN.com?
DNJ Hooker, right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'll type it in so everybody has it. And she's on Facebook.
Thanks to Christy, I am, and I'm addicted. I love it because I can keep up with so many of you, and we, you know, what's going on. I think it's wonderful.
I just found you on there, Joyce, so hopefully we can stay connected that way.
Good, yes.
Love you, Joyce. Anybody else want to talk? I think I got all the comments. There's one comment in here. Joyce is asking if you started at NMSRGN when you were 5 years old.
Oh, heavens no, I'm 79, and it's if anyone had said to me you'd be working at 79, I'd say you're really crazy, but never say never, because you know, it's been such fun. So but the time has come. And when you talk about energy and ideas, that's why we need you all there, because we need young people coming in and those of you with the experience, and we network together, and that's what makes us all so good. Why it works. Thank you all. I know we're over our time.
She's got a garage sale to plan.
What happens, happens. Oh.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you keeping it quiet and a surprise. And if you want to send me an email, kweese@mountainstatesgenetics.org, I'm happy to send your sentiments. If you haven't gotten a chance to talk today, I'm happy to add them to the slide deck that I'll turn into a PDF and send over to Joyce so she can print it off and put it in her memory chest.
Christy, thank you for putting this together and giving us this chance to see Joyce again. It's just really been awesome.
Well, I will shout out to big thank you to Cody, who managed the invite and got us a Google form. So it's been a team effort, except when I sent it out to the whole RGN staff with Joyce copied on there. But I'm guessing she didn't figure that out. I don't know. Are you just pretending, Joyce? Did you read that email?
You know, I did see it, but I did, you know, I did once seeing something and then experiencing this. Thank you. The two of you are just, this is going to be such a good team with Cody and Christy. They're amazing.
We're gonna miss you, Joyce. Thanks everyone for joining. Feel free to stick on. We don't have to jump off the Zoom line here, but if you want to stick on for a personal comment, feel free.
Take care. Stay safe.
You too, my friend.
Thank you so much, Joyce. Miss you.
Thank you,
Joyce. Thanks, Joyce. Bye.
Take care, Joyce.
Ward. Oh my goodness. Oh, Ward.
Hey Rod, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Michaela's on there. Hey Michaela.
Hey guys, happy retirement. Don't leave us.
I love your energy, your youngness.
Thanks. No, it's been a pleasure. I feel very honored to have met you and worked alongside you. So.
Joyce, I've sort of known you for a short period. Am I coming through?
What'd you say?
But Rod, I'm gonna you for 1 second. So Joyce, I've only known you just a short period, but it's been really fantastic getting to know you and just touching on sort of all of that history that you've put into MSRGN. And so gonna miss our Monday morning meetings and just spending time with you virtually, but maybe we'll meet up in person at some point.
You never know.
We'll make a guest appearance at our next in-person genetic summit, huh? Maybe.
Right. Who knows?
If we have it in Vegas, that would be close.
That's right. Hop, skip, and a jump. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Oh, well, I think the co-lead call went really well. So good job for all the state teams are unbelievably amazing. They did a great job.
Aren't they though? They are just, they're coming into their